For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. K-Man Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The K-Man Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And Fidelity Bank. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. And the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure. Visit energy.gov.ky/competition to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Welcome to For the Record. Today is Friday, the 20th day of November 2020. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, it is wet out there this morning, raining at times, and sometimes the rain is coming down extremely heavy, which means that your visibility on the roads will be reduced. Your ability to stop quickly, suddenly on the roads will be hampered as well, which means that as far as if you're operating a vehicle on the roads, you want to increase the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. You want to adjust your driving speeds to suit the conditions. So you may be in a 40-mile-an-hour zone or a 50-mile-an-hour zone, but the weather conditions may not be favorable for you to drive at those speeds. So you want to reduce your speed and your driving habits to suit the particular conditions under which you're driving. Again, we urge you, please be extremely cautious. Observe the rules of the road. Remember that the life you save may simply be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday. For those of you who are infirm, suffering from any type of illness that may cause you even to be hospitalized or staying at home, we want to wish you a speedy recovery. And, of course, for those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. And we hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the wet and busy roads of the Cayman Islands into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and the management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. That familiar, beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson is waiting there to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and the 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, then email us at for the record, one word, for the record at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. COVID-19 testing update for the 19th of November 2020. The Medical Officer for Health, Dr. Samuel Williams Rodriguez, reports that there were 276 COVID-19 tests carried out since it was last reported. One was positive. The individual is an asymptomatic traveler who returned a positive test results following a routine screening. They will remain in isolation until considered recovered. The total number of people in isolation either at a government facility or in their homes as required by the chief medical officer, by the medical officer for health is now 936. So to cover 2 points there. Number one of our listeners on Wednesday, I believe it was, sent a WhatsApp message and said, finally, the person who is really responsible, the chief medical officer for health, is the one who's reporting these COVID-19 tests and given credit for it as well. And I just want to repeat that again one more time. Also, for those who are concerned about the quarantine process, again, the report that one person, there was one out of those 276 tests, one person tested positive. That person was a traveler, and it was done as a result of routine screening while in isolation, I would assume, and that person will stay in isolation. So again, to reassure those persons who are a little bit skeptical about the isolation process and whether or not persons are being released before they are proven to be free of the virus, we see that is happening as well. So, folks, without any further ado this morning, it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me none other than Dr. Steve McFeel. Several things that we're going to discuss this morning, we're going to talk about, because as you know, Dr. McFeel is a walking history book as far as the Cayman Islands are concerned. We have many other persons out there who know so much about the Cayman Islands. Niels Godfrey, his brother Nicholson Godfrey, and so many other Caymanians that can tell you about the various aspects of Cayman past. So we will be talking about the situation at Raid Spot, or at Dora Bay. We used to call it, in my days, we used to call it Dora Bay. What's happening down there with the fishermen, and talk about that. Also, one of our callers on 2 days, Mr. Mickey Hurlston, wanted to know about the concept of free association as it relates to the United Nations Charter and Section 73E of the Charter. So we will be discussing that also. So, Doc, without any further ado, good morning, sir. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning to you, Mr. For the Record, and good morning to all your For the Record fans in the Cayman Islands and those in the diaspora. It's good to be with you again this Friday morning. And I guess I get to be here because the opposition is not going to be here.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy today.
Well,
they're pretty busy.
Perhaps they're busy because now they have gotten an elevation in their names, the name calling. Now they're MPs. And I was just thinking last night when I was reading, the news of their elevation from legislative members, MLAs, to now MPs. They seem to be now, then their names are in the same par as the Englishman in England, in London, And I just wondered, though, Mr. For the Record, how is that going to help the Caymanian people from losing their homes to foreclosure? Mm-hmm. And how is that going to help the Caymanian people to get work when you have over 10,000 people on welfare in the Cayman Islands, over a population of 40,000, because you can't count those 25 or 25 or 30,000 transient workers, those people who are on work permits. They're not part of the population.
Right.
Other countries don't count them as population. They count them as outside workers, as immigrants working. And so here we have 10,000 people out of 30,000 people on welfare, and you calling yourself MPs. And I just wondered, how is that going to work in the legislature now, and in the parliament now? You're now a parliament, but you don't have the rights of a parliament. You do not have the power of a parliament, because an English civil servant is still in charge of you, and can refuse any laws that you pass, and can pass their own laws in the parliament. And how that works? How does that work with other parliaments in other jurisdictions where the concept of parliamentarian power is every parliament is sovereign? So if you're not sovereign, then what's the difference between the name MPs and MLA? There's no difference. And so people walking around and bragging about they're MPs, but I don't see any difference. I don't see how that's going to put bread on the table of the Caymanian people and feed all those people and give them employment and educate the Caymanian people. I don't see that at all.
Okay, yeah. And when we return from the commercial break, we can talk about the they were called members of Executive Council and the change to cabinet. That one may be a little bit more plausible on the international stage, but we'll compare the arguments that were used, for members of cabinet and members of Executive Council vis-a-vis members of Parliament as opposed to members of the Legislative Assembly. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Under Commissioner Cardinal, road and building development continued to grow on the islands. For a number of building projects, Commissioner Cardinal turned to the shipwright and builder, Mr. Rael B. Bodden. Bodden had a unique style, mixing local and imported materials, combining native hardwoods and hand-molded concrete blocks made with Jamaican cement. During the 1920s, Bodden had built the Wooden Peace Memorial Town Hall and the concrete and wood Elmsley Memorial Church. Bodden would also be involved in the construction of the public library and post office, which opened in 1939. During World War II, Rael Bodden was commissioned by the U.S. Navy to build 2 162-ton minesweepers. These commissions and the needs of the U.S. Navy greatly assisted with replenishing the government revenues.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets are moving like Blackie's Grape Nut Ice Cream on a sizzling Saturday night in Cayman Brac. Get your tickets now from Rotary Central members, Rotary ticket sellers, online at eventpro.ky, Funky Tangs, Ale Thompson's Home Depot, the bar at Mango Tree Restaurant, Seabird's Bar at Eastern Avenue. In Cayman Brac, Rotary Club of Cayman Brac and Tashara Lewis. Bar Camp on the Run in Red Bay. Gas stations island-wide. Get ready to be a winner. Stand your chance to win $40,000. Second prize, $4,000, 6 $1,000 prizes, and more. Your golden ticket, your golden chance. Rotary Central and the Music Extravaganza 2020. Innovators behind the Rotary Cayman Disaster Fund and the Rotary District 7020 Disaster Fund. Your tickets support over 70 Rotary community projects, making every ticket a winner. Rotary Central, not-for-profit number 232. Your ticket, your chance. Your contribution to a better community through Rotary. Rotary opens opportunity.
Brand Source Home Gallery is celebrating their 50th anniversary with a 20% store-wide sale starting Wednesday, November 18th through Saturday, November 21st. You heard right. Yes, 20% off everything in store. Plus, a chance to win a $3,400 GE Smart Laundry Pair. Shop and save. Celebrate Brand Source Home Gallery's 50th anniversary store-wide sale with 20% off everything in store, plus a chance to win a $3,400 GE Smart Laundry Pair. Drawing for the lucky winner of the GE Smart Laundry Pair will be held on Saturday, November 21st at 4:30 p.m. Phone 623-5000 for details. Brand Source Home Gallery, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Stronger, wider, higher, lighter. The all-new Ford Ranger Raptor.
Powerfully built with a 2.0 diesel Panther engine and 210 horsepower. Modern with leather interior and 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 3 technology and power features. Tough, built to handle the off-road with 4-wheel drive, terrain modes, and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Coming early October to Vamped Motors, Walkers Road. To find out more and to test drive the bold new Ford Ranger Raptor, visit Vamped Motors, Walkers Road, or call 949-8288.
Did you know the third most important factor for customer retention is cleanliness? With 95% of shoppers saying exterior appliance influences where they decide to shop. Keep your business clean with Roper's Janitorial. From offices to restaurants, interior and exterior, walls to rugs and flooring. Roper's cleans it all, including 24-hour emergency service. Roper's Janitorial, 949-2511 or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Dress your business for success. With Roper's Janitorial, we make your business shine. 949-2511. Roper's, providing products and services for better public health.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay.
No one can stop me when I taste the feel.
Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Dr. Steve Macfield, one caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC. This is Bakiva Bush. I'm calling for a public service announcement.
Okay.
As we know, there has been tremendous damage done to Nicaragua, to Honduras, and to San Andres and Providence and the other island there.
Yes, sir.
I've been helping the various groups organize, and I just want to remind the Nicaraguan group that there is a meeting 5:30 tomorrow afternoon at my office here in West Bay. And on Tuesday, there will be a wider meeting for the Nicaraguan people at the Lion Center at 6 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon, where more people are able to gather. But tomorrow, that's Tuesday afternoon at 6 o'clock, and tomorrow afternoon at my office in West Bay. I think basically the West Bay people, Nicaraguan families here, will come together to talk about how they're going to mount their humanitarian effort. Also, tonight at the airport park, at the San Andres group, Providence group is meeting at 7 o'clock at the airport park. I wanted to make that public service announcement and ask people to give, and I know people have been giving. The Honduran group has worked really hard, and they're well on the way, and the other two groups are starting. But they need everything. It's a tremendous humanitarian effort that is needed. So I want to thank you for allowing me to come on.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Speaker,
go ahead, sir.
Mr. Speaker, what kind of donations are you looking for? Are you looking for money and clothing and things
everything.
like that?
They need everything. In Providence, something that I guess it's something like 6,000 people with only three homes left standing. They don't know quite the damage yet. All has not been recorded, I guess. And tremendous damage, of course, in San Andres. Honduras been collecting everything that they can collect because they need everything: bed clothing, bath clothing, baby clothing, food in Honduras. In Providence, they're asking for anything that can be given, but they need building material. They need, and they're asking specifically for building material and also for any kind of tools for construction purposes. It seems like the Colombian government is well on the ball in helping them with food, water, etc. But they do need, and they need any kind of skill that could come over there. That's a problem, as we all know, because of the COVID. But they need skilled persons over in San Andres to help, and because they want to start to build back, but of course they want to build back, and they're saying they would like to build back to Cayman code of building. So you need personnel, staffing, workers for that sort of to mount that sort of challenge over there. We are hoping that the group is on the ball also, and they plan to have a plane from San Andres to Cayman as soon as that can be arranged, because of course it's an international matter, and so it has to be done from the point of view of foreign affairs to foreign affairs, rather than an effort like what I'm doing with these people.
Is our local Red Cross involved as well here, sir?
Not yet that I know about. Not yet that I know about. But these people are just starting now, you know. So I know there is someone on who has connection with the Red Cross on the San Andreas group.
Okay.
Yeah, they working. That lady's working. Her husband is actually part of the Red Cross, and she's working with them. So I know they will later on, because this is not a short-term effort. I mean, from what I understand, it's huge proportions of loss. They don't know what life is lost, because some of the people here have family.
Yes,
there, and they haven't been able to make contact with some of them.
So, sir, of course, you know that I have family down there. I think you were acquainted with that relationship, because my cousin David McPhail was the ambassador to Jamaica from Nicaragua, and his cousin, his brother Nelson, was the ambassador to Iran. I haven't been able to contact him at all.
Yeah,
and I just wondered why, if is Cayman going to try to do a flight to those destinations?
Well, we don't know that yet. As I said, COVID is proving to be difficult, making things much more difficult. And I had Cayman Airways, Mr. Worms, Mr. Paul Tibbetts, and Captain Scott meet with the San Andreas people, I think, Monday night, Monday morning. And they explained to them what the situation is. Right now, it's all humanitarian, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody has money. Whatever money they can gather, they need to spend it on things for the people rather than on any machinery. So we don't know yet. Our government, of course, support to use the harbor, and that was, they have to be organized, and that would be all fees, etc. waived. Mm-hmm. So that's a help right there. Mm-hmm. I have been in making some contact now with government so that there can be ministry to ministry, foreign affairs ministry to ministry discussion. Okay,
Mr. Bush, we have to break for the news. Sorry to interrupt, but this is a break that we have to. If you want to call back after the news, certainly we would like to engage you more in the conversation. If there's information that we need to get out there to people, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Price Right is 8 o'clock.
Have you heard? Black Friday has come early at Priced Right.
Yeah, the once-a-year sale kicks off a week early this Friday from 5 a.m. I've been told they'll have big deals on the biggest TVs, electronics, kitchen appliances, homewares, food, and more.
Perfect, and all in time for Christmas.
Priced Right's Black Friday sale starts this Friday from 5 a.m. at both Priced Right Airport Center and Republic's Plaza locations. Live better for less this Black Friday at Priced Right.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Did you know that since May, in support of the COVID-19 Emergency Withdrawal Program, the Chamber Pension Plan leveraged IT and human resources to successfully review over 16,900 member applications, approve over 12,579 applications, and will pay over CI $143 million to our plan members. We are the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, and we're here for you. For further information regarding the Chamber Pension Plan, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller.
One of the key targets is that 70% of the electricity generated on our islands should be derived from renewable sources by the year 2037.
Commerce and Planning Infrastructure Minister the Honourable Joey Hugh addresses delegates at this year's Caribbean Transitional Energy Conference, which took place virtually Thursday morning. Minister Hugh shared Cayman's energy policies with attendees.
The policy is technology neutral, so it provides the flexibility that allows our islands to adapt to the dynamic energy landscape, which is becoming more and more technocentric.
Audio there courtesy of CIG-TV. The event boasted more than 20 speakers from all over the world and included remarks from His Excellency the Governor Martin Roper. A new board of directors has been selected for the Cayman Islands Tourism Association. Shanda Gallego reports.
The Cayman Islands Tourism Association gets a new executive committee resulting from the new board of directors elected at its recent annual general meeting. The new executive board includes Mark Langevin as president, Michael Tibbetts as vice president, Natalie Porter as secretary, and Marcus Murray as treasurer. Newly elected President Mark Langevin says the new board has many priorities ahead of them, and they're eager to assist the government with a safe reopening strategy for visitors to return. Members of the association also elected its sector directors, who collectively serve as the CITA Board of Directors 2020-2021. Past President Teresa Leacock Broderick said the recent annual general meeting was successful all around. The number of members attending this year's general meeting indicates the industry's solidarity on the issues impacting their businesses and livelihoods of their employees. She said the Tourism Forum part of the meeting was a very candid and constructive exchange between the CITA members and the Cayman Islands government senior leaders. The Deputy Premier, Minister for Tourism, and the Honourable Minister for Commerce openly addressed members' questions on the government's dealings with the COVID-19 pandemic. They also listened and gained greater perspective. She said the forum was invaluable and is representative of CITA's advocacy role. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. Azeri troops have entered Agdam, the first and most populous of the three districts Armenia is vacating as the price for ending a 44-day war over Nagorno-Karabakh. Some of the thousands of ethnic Armenians making way set fire to their homes and slaughtered livestock they couldn't take with them. A coronavirus lockdown in the state of South Australia will be lifted early after the man who caught it was found to have lied about working in a pizza bar. The authorities believed he'd caught a new virulent strain of the disease after he told them he'd only been a customer of the outlet and so had little exposure. It's now known he worked there. Officials in the Indian capital Delhi are starting a door-to-door survey to check for people with coronavirus symptoms. The survey will target districts known to have a high number of cases. The United Nations Refugee Agency has called for an immediate temporary ceasefire in Ethiopia following 2 weeks of fighting between the army and regional forces in Tigray. It wants humanitarian corridors to be set up so that civilians can be reached. Hundreds have died in the conflict since the beginning of November. The influential head of the Serbian Orthodox Church, Patriarch Irene, has died from coronavirus at the age of 90. Patriarch Irene became ill after conducting the funeral of Montenegro's senior Orthodox prelate, who also died from COVID-19. None of the clergy presiding over the open coffin wore a mask. Police in Germany say they have reason to believe that a man whose bones were found in a Berlin forest 10 days ago was a victim of cannibalism. The 44-year-old victim, named only as Stefan T., was reported missing 2 months ago. A 41-year-old man, reportedly a maths teacher, is in custody. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. We have an all-in expense ratio of less than 1%, over 20,000 members, and $490 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today we are still strong, secure, and are here for our employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or require further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Maintaining a strong mind and body through sports and general healthy living is a good course of action. But what about your spiritual man, your inner man? He has to be awakened, fed, exercised, strengthened, and led according to the will of God. So, have you heard the call? I'm evangelist Brother Joseph Joey Ebanks, and I'm inviting you to worship Wednesday and Thursday nights at 7:30. We are bringing the Word of God to our communities as Jesus commanded. Faith comes by hearing. So come and hear. Bring your own chair or simply park and listen to the Word of God from your vehicle, covering the Cayman Islands with the Word of God, one community at a time.
Have you heard the call? We'll be meeting November 11th and 12th at the Windsor Park Playground.
Hey, don't forget to stroll down memory lane and join the Older Person Month Georgetown Walkabout happening tomorrow, Saturday, from noon until 4 p.m. Enjoy the experience with family or friends. Go at your own pace, starting at the Georgetown Public Library, to hear from local authors and watch Older Persons Month Life Stories videos. This Saturday's Georgetown Walkabout also takes in a guided tour of Emsley Memorial Church with its Miss Olive exhibit and prayer tree. Other scheduled stops include Constitution Hall with live music performances and the historic monuments of Hero Square and the Wall of History. Visit the main post office and send a postcard to family like her seamen once did. Take the Georgetown Walkabout tomorrow from noon until 4 p.m. Older persons should bring ID to get complimentary refreshments.
The Family Resource Center presents the second annual 3x3 Basketball Extravaganza on Saturday, November 28th at the Arts Recreation Center, Camana Bay. The junior division for boys 12 and under starts at 10 a.m. and the open senior division begins at 12 noon. Each team must have a minor on court at all times. Free registration online at frc.gov.ky or on location November 28th. Play for a cash prize of $1,000 and test your skills in the free throw and novelty challenges. Live family entertainment all day. 3-on-3 basketball at the Arc, Camana Bay on Saturday, November 28th. This is an International Men's Day event. Contact the Family Resource Center at 949-0006 for more details. Admission is free.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19, it is important to stay prepared for other disasters now that we're in the hurricane season. Here are some post-hurricane safety tips from the Department of Environmental Health. Did you know you must ensure all utensils are washed with detergent and rinsed with hot water if they make contact with flood water? For full guidance on post-hurricane safety tips, visit www.deh.gov.ky.
If you enjoyed The Honeymoon Over, you're going to love the sequel, Fat Chats. Once again, the Harco Theater will be coming live and direct into your homes and vehicles. As the Cayman National Cultural Foundation, CNCF performs Fat Chats on Radio Cayman. You can join us right here on Radio Cayman every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Starting November 18th until December 23rd. We will have a repeat of each week's episode airing every Saturday at 6:45 p.m. beginning on November 21st and ending on December 26th. Don't miss it.
Find out about all the community happenings from non-profit, community fundraisers, church events, and more with Radio Cayman's Community Bulletin Board 3 times daily. Don't be the one to miss out on the latest information for events taking place every day on all 3 islands. Radio Cayman's Bulletin Board brought to you by Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, just around the corner, with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours.
And Royal Medical and Wellness Center in Baytown Plaza. Your health deserves nothing less than the royal treatment. Email info@royalmedical.ky or call 769-6230. WhatsApp available at 922-2119.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life. Ultimately, taking action is the surest way to achieve results.
As motivational speaker Tony Robbins said, I believe life is constantly testing us for our level of commitment, and life's greatest rewards are reserved for those who demonstrate a never-ending commitment to act until they achieve. This level of resolve can move mountains, but it must be constant and consistent. As simplistic as this may sound, it is still the common denominator separating those who live their dreams from those who live in regret.
Change your thinking, change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong series was brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 80 degrees. Relative humidity is 85%. The barometric pressure 29.98 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east at 13 knots. Overnight low temperature was 74 degrees. Synopsis indicates strong east to northeasterly winds and rough seas are expected across the Cayman area today as a high-pressure system builds over the southeast United States. Isolated showers are also expected as a stationary front lingers across central Cuba and the Yucatan Channel. Radar images show scattered showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the southwest. Now the forecast for tonight and today and tonight is calling for partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers, and temperatures will be in the upper 80s today and will fall to the mid-70s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 20 to 25 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be rough with wave heights of 7 to 9 feet. A marine warning remains in effect for today and tonight as well. Low tide, we're presently at a low tide, and the next high tide will be this afternoon at 8 minutes past 3, and a low tide again tonight at 9:55. Sunset 5:44, sunrise 6:37, and the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through tomorrow evening. The marine warning is expected to be discontinued tomorrow, with a small craft warning to be in place from tomorrow through at least Sunday night. That's the very latest on your weather report.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
And top of the morning to you once again. Let's take a look at traffic. A lot of patience needed this morning if you're coming from the east, as traffic is heavy on Shamrock Road on the Linford Pearson Highway. Also coming off the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way, traffic busy. Some sections of Cool Road busy, other sections moderate. And as we look to the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions. Steady but flowing traffic on the Esterly Tibbetts Highway. In and out of Georgetown and Shedden Road, moderate flow of traffic. Edward Street, traffic moving along at a good pace. Coming from the West Bay four-way stop, moderate flow of traffic in both directions. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12, another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket. Have a good morning.
At Subway, we want to express our sincere appreciation for your support this year. We're still here because of you. Because you took care of us during a difficult time, let us take care of you and your family this holiday season. It's been a stressful year. You don't need the stress of planning big holiday dinners or parties. Just give us a call. We'll make it easy and work with you to plan your special occasion. Enjoy our catering, boxes, gift certificates, and of course, our delicious cookies and new flavors. We thank you for supporting local. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Do you remember when 2020 was great?
I don't think it was...
2020 vision, not the year.
Right.
Make 2020 great again with Optical Outlook, the new West Bay store now open. With their designer frames and sunglasses, eye health has never looked so good. Call 746-2020 and book your eye exam today at Caymanian Village and now at Jake Scott Plaza in West Bay, offering premier eye care in Cayman for over 30 years. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McFeel. The Speaker, Honorable Makiva Bush, has called back so that we can continue, or he stayed on the line so that we could continue the conversation about the devastation in the Central America. Mr. Bush, welcome back, sir.
Yes. OCS, I stayed on. I didn't know whether you had another question.
Okay. No, we won't. I believe yesterday in listening to you on Talk Today, there was an indication that a bank account would also be established or was in the process of being established. Has that been established yet?
I don't think so. I think they're just working. Those things, as you know, takes a while. So the groups are... I don't think the Honduran group has did it. I'm not sure yet, but I know that the San Andres group is working on it because we met with them last night and they made a report saying that it's being worked on. They have to, go through several steps to get it done.
So, Mr. Bush, are you in touch with any of your counterparts, like in Nicaragua? Would you have access to? No. Well,
it doesn't seem like anybody got any access to government per se as yet, and they haven't. Doesn't seem to have been active. We haven't heard anything from the president. I certainly haven't had any word from them. We are in contact. The most contact we've had is with the people over in San Andres, the mayor there, the president, and at least 3 ministries are on board working: the Minister of Defense, Minister of Planning, Minister of Tourism, and of course the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So it's 4 ministries, the president and the mayor. They are all concerned, all working, and as I said, requests are being made, and we're going to see how that works from ministry to ministry right now to get a plane in here. So that is, but no contact with Nicaragua people, but they have had a difficult time, as you understand.
Yes.
And Honduras is probably the same thing, because anything goes into Honduras, no matter who you send it for, it seems like it has to go to a central point, and then they distribute it to who they want to distribute to. So logistics are some problems, eh?
Yes. So, but I mean, you're in your official capacity as speaker and in your capacity as just a person who wants to help. I mean, you're trying to make contact with those people officially and unofficially too.
I've tried one source and I haven't heard anything back. As I said, Nicaragua is very, very difficult. Nothing coming back from them yet. I know that there are some people planning to get a boat down to Nicaragua, and that is being worked on. So a lot of things just started to work and gel together right now.
Could I ask you a favor then? Yes. In case you do get in contact with them, if you could let me know. Give me a
certainly,
contact.
Certainly, because I know you have that family member there.
Yes.
I met him, was invited there, and we didn't get to go.
Yes.
So if there's anything that I can hear, I will search it. But Nicaragua is proving difficult at this time. As far as I am concerned, I haven't had any. I haven't been able to touch base with anybody in authority there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Bush?
Just to remind the Nicaraguan people of the meeting tomorrow afternoon, 5:30, and the meeting on Tuesday at the Lion Center at 6 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at my office on Reverend Blackman Road, West Bay, for a smaller group, bigger group, and as many as people that can come. Please come to that. The demands, the need are tremendous, as you can imagine, OC. And the Honduran group is, as I said, well on the way in doing their thing. They have been working very, very hard.
Mm-hmm. And for donations, again, Mr. Bush, those persons who can goods and clothing at this point in time, do we have drop-off points or contact persons for those?
In the San Andres group is Mrs. Rita E. Banks, that's 916-2013. And then Mr. Lenny Huffington, 928-1986. Mr. Junior Brian, 326-1546. Mrs. Dione Britton, 939-6879. Jermaine Jackson, 936-6407. And then you have a Sharon Alga. I said earlier about the lady that whose husband is with the Red Cross. She's helping them with logistics, etc. But she has she's like a secretary there. So those numbers are people that you can reach out to. They have Miss Rita's shop that they can drop things to. They have All Nations. There will be a further announcement. All Nations Church that they can they're storing things, and there will be some announcements where some containers will be, because people just can't go and drop off things. You know, particularly when if they got to take it by plane, you would realize that there are aerosols, etc., that that can't go on the plane. So people have to be careful what they're giving. But they need, the truth is they need everything. They need, hopefully, like I said, as they get later on, they will know more of what the exact needs will be. But right now, they have made that request for personnel, for construction, tools, etc.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you very much.
Nicaragua, we haven't had an announcement except for those meeting times, and we will get back later on in the week to Radio Cayman to get to publicize some of what's going to take place.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent.
And if I hear anything, Dr. Steve, I will certainly let you know in regards to what's happening down there in Nicaragua.
I would be grateful if you did that, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that. Okay, Doc. So, what do we want to talk about first? We want to go on
to talk about Red Spot.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about
we need to talk about those local things.
Yes. Yeah. Well, where do we start? Do we want to start about the history of Red Spot?
Yes.
I know it. I'm not sure who owned it, whether or not it was Crown or what. We know that opposite Red Spot, there were two areas. You had Miss Dora Bush's property, and then you had, I believe, where Mr. Alvin Smith's bar was. I'm not sure whether or not that land extended all the way to the road and to there as well. But two pieces of property that were there that were owned by Caymanians at the time.
Yes,
indigenous Caymanians.
Well, indigenous. Where Red Spot is across from, directly across from Red Spot was owned by the Bird family.
Okay.
And then further down, where the men sit on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Where the men sit on the wall, you remember there were some grape trees really opposite that, where you could just go through the little lane and come out on Mary Street.
Right.
That was owned by the Sam Smith family, Albert Smith's father.
Okay.
And then further on, it was owned by Miss Leela Ross McShire, Miss Leela McTaggart Rossshire, where Mr. Bentley and them. And then on the opposite side of the Bird property, that property on the corner there where the building is now, was owned by
Mr. Joyce Hilton,
Mr. Joy Hilton, father,
Mr. Russell,
Mr. Mellard Russell,
mm-hmm.
Mr. Bonner Russell.
Okay.
Mr. Bonner Russell. I grew up around Red Spot, and I can remember myself, Mary McField, Erlin Miles and his sister Beth Miles, and Evans Miles, and all people there backing sand from Red Spot, because Red Spot had a special kind of sand that we used for the back of the yard, not the front, because it was sort of reddish.
Yes.
And that's what they call it, Red Spot, because across from there, I guess the reef sand was different from the sand in Barbie. The sun in Barbie
much clearer.
Was much clearer. And if you didn't have the money to buy sun at the time, because sometimes I think a truckload of sun in those days was cost 10 shilling and sixpence. You back the sun at night, especially when it's moonlight night.
And you had people like Mr. Lawrence Dilbert and Cullis Smith,
yes,
who used to have and I think Mr. Wellington as well.
Yes,
they had their trucks, and you could.
And Rupert Boxham.
And those days, those days, you when you loaded a truck with sand, you use a hand shovel.
You shovel it on, yes, and you shovel it off. and not only that, but Rids. How many people know a fisherman called Pingy?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, they would know, if they don't know him from fishing, they would know he operated one of the foggers in he operated one of the foggers for MRCU for years.
For years and years.
Yeah.
But he used to fish two boats belonging to Captain Benny Borden. A boat called the Eagle and the Ripple. And I remember 8, 9, 10 years old, my grandmother and my mother would send me out to Barbie to watch, to see if he caught any fish. And he used to tow from northwest point to southwest point. And he had a method. If he caught we used to call it, today they call them wahoos. I don't know how that name, but we used to call them kingfish and queenfish.
Yeah, queenfish, yeah. Well, and some people would just call them all queenfish.
All queenfish. And if he caught a fish, he would hoist a flag on the mast of the Eagle or the Ripple, so you could know, yes, you could go home and tell your grandmother or your mother that you could go back to get the fish when they come in.
Okay.
He would come right into Barbie, and they would clean the fish there, and people go down there, they had the scale, and they would sell the fish. That was every day, nearly every week. And if you look, I had some old pictures now of Barbie, what it looked like in those days, and you can see the sticks that the people had to hold to pull the boats up under the sea, like little derricks from down there.
Yeah.
So people have been, and I'm 85, and so if I had been doing that from I was 11 and 12 years old, you know that has been used since that time, and so I don't understand why when I read CNS and I see some of the comments on it, why people are saying, well, it's the man's land, and he has the right to use of his land. But there's something in law called prescriptive rights, that if you have been using it undisturbed for 12 years, you have a prescriptive right to use it. And under the prescriptive law, it says that anyone who has been using any beach, for fishing, bathing, recreation, and so forth, and any use ancillary thereto has for 20 years undisturbed, has an indefeasible right to continue to use it. So it's not going to be so easy as sending a notice to them and throwing them off and going to court and getting a notice and getting an order for them to vacate the premises. It's not going to be so easy. And as I was speaking to you, and you had some suggestions, and I would like you to say them, because I concur with that, because I do not understand why we are capitulating our rights in this country to people who come here and do not understand there are traditional cultural rights that we have that we are entitled to.
Okay.
And that Caymanians now who capitulate and who abdicate those rights, they should be kicked in the butt, and they should take their land away from them, because if they cannot stand up for their own land, their own rights, their own culture, then they should be overrun by these people who come in here late, who come here.
Well, Doc, we're going to talk about that when we return from this commercial break. One of the things that we want to talk about, how in the world, and this would be a rhetorical question, because we know the answer, but we're going to ask it anyway. How in the world those lands, those properties like that, end up in the hands of non-indigenous Caymanians? When we talk about in the 40s and the 50s or whatever, and Miss Dora Bush and the Bird family and the Smith family and the Russell family, how in the world these foreign invaders were able to come to this country and get our land? Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Hey, Chrissy, what a great spot for lunch. I haven't been here in ages. Right? I haven't either. I saw it on Experience Cayman and remembered how good it is. What's that? It's a free online festival showcasing all the great ideas to do in Cayman. You should check it out. That's so cool. I will for sure. Now, what are you having?
Experience Cayman is a celebration of everything local. To rediscover all the best things to see and do in the Cayman Islands, visit gov.ky/Experience Cayman. And follow Experience Cayman on Facebook and Instagram. Brought to you by the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
No, man. My bills seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Phone Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today. Brand Source Home Gallery is celebrating their 50th anniversary with a 20% store-wide sale starting Wednesday, November 18th through Saturday, November 21st. You heard right. Yes, 20% off everything in store. Plus, a chance to win a $3,400 GE Smart Laundry Pair. Shop and save. Celebrate Brand Source Home Gallery's 50th anniversary store-wide sale with 20% off everything in store. Plus, a chance to win a $3,400 GE Smart Laundry Pair. Drawing for the lucky winner of the GE Smart Laundry Pair will be held on Saturday, November 21st at 4:30 p.m. Phone 623-5000 for details. Brand Source Home Gallery, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Stronger, wider, higher, lighter. The all-new Ford Ranger Raptor. Powerfully built with a 2.0 diesel Panther engine and 210 horsepower. Modern with leather interior, an 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 3 technology, and power features. Tough. Built to handle the off-road with 4-wheel drive, terrain modes, and 10-speed automatic transmission. Coming early October to Vamped Motors, Walkers Road. To find out more and to test drive the bold new Ford Ranger Raptor, visit Vamped Motors, Walkers Road, or call 949-8288.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets are moving like Blackie's Grape Nut Ice Cream on a sizzling Saturday night in Cayman Brac. Get your tickets now from Rotary Central members, Rotary ticket sellers, online at eventpro.ky, Funky Tangs, Ale Thompson's Home Depot, the bar at Mango Tree Restaurant, Seabird's Bar at Eastern Avenue in Cayman Brac, Rotary Club of Cayman Brac and Tashara Lewis, Bar Camp on the Run in Red Bay, gas stations island-wide. Get ready to be a winner. Stand your chance to win $40,000. Second prize $4,000, 6 $1,000 prizes and more. Your golden ticket, your golden chance. Rotary Central and the Music Extravaganza 2020. Innovators behind the Rotary Cayman Disaster Fund and the Rotary District 7020 Disaster Fund. Your tickets support over 70 Rotary community projects, making every ticket a winner. Rotary Central, not-for-profit number 232. Your ticket, your chance. Your contribution to a better community through Rotary. Rotary opens opportunity.
Don't miss Fat Chance on Radio Cayman every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. starting November 18th until December 23rd, with a repeat of each week's episode airing every Saturday at 6:45 p.m. beginning on November 21st and ending on December 26th. Fat Chance. Fat Chance is a comedy everyone can relate to. Henpeck Dexter is back with his wife Corinne and his mother-in-law, who is living with the couple. The universal theme is be careful what you wish for, as you just may get it.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve Macfield. The conversation that we have embarked upon now is the whole issue of Miss Dora Bay, or Red Spot, and the controversy there with the fisherman and the quote-unquote owner of that property. And I use the quote-unquote owner, to the extent that... I use it generally. We do have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. And how art thou?
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
And good morning to Doctor. A question was a very salient question, but it went like something like this. How did we get here?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how we got here? It's kind of nefarious, but we are people who are not exposed to like real badness. A little badness, yes. That's in the human domain. But real badness, I don't think we were exposed to enough of it to see the nefarious behavior of people. And then we have a few little problems ourselves. You send the right people, like pigmentation, you will never tell them no. Come with a smile and nice words. We know they love us as much as we love them. And that's how we have been divested, in my humble opinion. And I don't think that people who want things from local people, or you would say native people, spend one moment coming up with new ways to get things. There's a playbook out there kept by somebody. And I believe some people will then pay a price to use that, pay a dollar price to use that playbook. And that's just the way it goes. Look at all the peoples in the world. Myself, grandchild of African slaves. How did they get to do that? How did they get to come to the New World? How did they get to the American Indians? These people look at systems and processes, and if it works in jurisdiction A, let's try it out in jurisdiction B. Of course, you might have to do a little tweaking.
Yes.
But that's all. And they just run it on us, and they send their best, their best students, their best artisans, whatever, the best of the best for what their goals and their outcomes that they desire. They send the best people to work on our psychology. And the horrible truth that we not face in Cayman yet is that good people can't see badness in bad people. And Caymanians traditionally have been good people. We take people at their word. We trust them. We don't trust ourselves, and we don't trust each other. We trust people who are sent to us.
Yeah.
And we refuse to see what it is they're doing to us, and they push us along to what the world knows as the slippery slope. And they go slow, and they go gentle, and they go kind, and we are so happy to be included and to be on board. Before we look for institutions for ourselves, we always want to join up. And that's where our problems lie. As far as I'm concerned, that's where our problems lie. And Caymanians will not take responsibility for ourselves, but it's us. When they're on the pay us for a piece of property, that's still us. When we want to sell the property, one little situation out there on Shaden, that I wouldn't say I'm aware of because I was too young, but I hear about a Caymanian, a working Caymanian man, an entrepreneur wanted to buy a piece of property, and we, as the Caymanian, wouldn't sell it to our neighbor, our friend, a businessman. But we sold it to we gave it then, not sold. We gave it to somebody else. And that's just a prime example of how we have aided in our own demise and truly aided in the divestment of our Caymanian economy and anything else that surrounds it.
But caller, I just want to say to you that part of that playbook that was used, one chapter has to do with divide and conquer.
Oh, go find it, Billy Lynch together. Go find it, man.
Another chapter in it. The scorched earth method that they used in Africa, where if we can't have it, or if we have to leave it behind it, we're going to burn it all down and leave it and leave it there.
I believe in that one for myself. I don't know why we so timid. Yeah.
And caller, I understand that. This is what I understand. I don't know if I am not saying this is gospel, but I understand that there was some attempt to the government to acquire the property, purchase it from the owner, and I understand that the owner refused to sell to the government.
Well, I look at that as strategy.
Well, the government was able to buy Smith Barcadere for a public purpose. Now, there is something called eminent domain. And if the owner refuses to sell voluntarily, the government can use the principle of eminent domain and buy the property for the market value of it, and for a public purpose, and put his money in the bank if he doesn't want to take it. If I was a cabinet member, that is what I would do. Otherwise, I would have to use Jim Borden tactics. I would say that part of the road is too narrow in relation to the other part of the road, and I would fill in the bay and say that I have to fill it in to straighten out the road. Or the fishermen by the dozen should go down there every day and sit on the wall.
Because that's a part of our tradition. We sit out there and converse on the wall.
I can remember seeing who? Dora. Dora, though.
Yes.
I can remember seeing Dora Bush none of them many days.
Yeah. See? That is where men and
when men are men.
When men sat down there in the evening, because there was no nightclubs and no places to go and no bar rooms to go. There was only 2 liquor licenses when I was growing up in this country. Alvin Smith Bar across the street, they called it, that became Matilda's Corner, and Captain Ben's Bar, which the site is now across from where the Royal Bank is. That's the only 2 place you could drink liquor. And so the men went out there and drank their booze and stuff and talked their seamen's talk their stuff there. And so, you know, I don't understand. This is a test now for the new MPs. This should be a test for them now to go out there and to protect their homeland, protect their culture, and protect what their people are used to. And this will see who among them now can be first among equals and go out and do that now. Who's gonna really put up the power now, or whether it's gonna be the same thing where there's no premier, there's no prime minister, and where the chief executive is still the British civil servant. We want to see who's going to do that now.
Finance, so that our people will not be left out in the dark ways. The people where they go hat in hand. Those are the people that want those kinds of things to happen to us, and they're not going to help them. That's why we need campaign finance. That everybody has at least a fair opportunity to offer their services to the country.
Caller?
And not be owned.
Yep.
As the young people would say, not for sale, not for rent.
Yep.
Thank you, Burn the Bush.
Take care, my dear. We will talk.
Sir.
Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. 122 Industrial Way, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers and stay prepared. 949-2511. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
No, man. My bill seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Phone Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today.
The new Self-Help Community Foundation presents the 19th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts with their first ever virtual concert. Get your tickets now at eventpro.ky. Streaming live on December 13th. You don't want to miss this. With performances by Erica Asai, Caitlin Tyson, Miss Universe 2018, Rico Rolando, Terry Williams, UCCI dancers, Lloyd Barker, Rita Estevanovich, Dream Chasers Cayman, Mariah Padwa, Shantae Ramoon, Duncan Anderson, Cayman Music School, Zariah Anglin, Centerpoint Dance Company, Richie T, JC Patrick, Miss World Cayman, and more. The Talent Exposition of the Arts, first ever virtual concert, broadcasting live December 13th. Get your tickets today at eventpro.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going to continue on this topic. We do have 2 callers. Before we go to the callers, I just want to say, Doc, that we saw in the civil rights movement in the United States where, you know, people sat in the cafeterias and restaurants and stuff like that to have the right to be served there. What John Lewis talked about, getting into good trouble. We in the Cayman Islands have to start getting ourselves into some good trouble here. Some of the good trouble, I'm not sure. I'm not a maritime person, but you spoke about the pictures that you've seen with the boats being tied up or anchored off there. Well, if they want to use that beach area there for to rent to people to use that beach, those fishermen should take their boats and anchor them, because remember now, the property owners don't own the water.
That's right.
Anchor their boats right out there in front. Who's going to want to go there? Number 2, like you said before, the wall, we always congregated there in the evenings. People would sit there and chat. Use that wall, and we would hope that the government wouldn't try to use their powers.
The vagrants law like they did, to move them.
And sit out there and have our conversations. The other thing is that what they have to realize is that tourists coming to these islands now are very sensitive as far as social issues are concerned. And we highlight and publicize the fact that this area where you are now patronizing, where you are now occupying, was once the place where our local fishermen earn a living. By patronizing whatever business is there now, you are contributing to the denial of those fishermen to earn a living. The last thing I want to say before we go to the phone lines is here's an opportunity also for those indigenous Caymanian owners that own other property there that are getting some negative publicity as a result of planning issues. Here's an opportunity for them to step up to the plate and offer an alternative on their property for those fishermen as well, and shame the other one. But at the same time, we still do not let up, do not relent on getting into the good trouble in terms of that particular property. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello?
Good morning.
Morning, OC. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Morning, Dr. Maxfield. How are you?
Good morning.
Morning. I just want to let you all know that I am very old now. I'm getting older every day. From I know myself, I used to swim in that spot, right? And the sand even is a different color from all the beaches on the island. But I just want you to know that there's a certain lawyer that made it upon himself yesterday to walk down and speak to those fishermen.
Okay.
And they have a lawyer that's going to represent them on that, because that has been there forever and ever. I've known myself. And like Steve said, he's 85, you know, and I know the fisherman has possession right for that property. And no, OC, they're not going anywhere else. They're not going to another property. They're going to stay right there on that property, even if we got to do what Arden did in East End. Stand on the wall and hold hands. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen here in Cayman. Not that piece of property.
Okay.
Those guys need to just stand up for their rights and don't move from there and park their boats there. This is very, very bad for us, because people are coming into our country and taking over. And there's no one else to stand up for us and to help. I don't know what the government's doing, but I know a separate entity came in and yesterday and walked down there that always buy fish from them. More than one lawyer called to represent them because of the rights that they have, that they've been there so long. This is very sad to see this, if this has to go right. And it's not, I don't really think it's about the fisherman. I think it's about where the bakery was, that piece of slab, that cement that went in the water in a bar. The gentleman wants to do the same thing there, and he's not getting it done. It's not going to happen. We are passive Caymanians, but I can tell you what, them Georgetowners not going to be passive with him.
Okay.
This is really, this is very disturbing to the island. You know, I just buy a piece of property for so many years, and after 30, 40 years, you want to evict the fishermen from there. He gave them rights to do that. They've been there longer than I know myself.
But he couldn't give them rights because they had been there longer before he was bought the property.
Exactly.
And in fact, if you use that argument, if they would have no right and interest on that property after he bought it, because he bought with their knowledge that he was using. And if he didn't know, then he didn't search the title to see who was on it when he bought it.
Of course he did know. He know. And also he's sending them a letter saying that, they don't have a license. They don't have a bathroom.
You don't need a license to do what they're doing.
And that's not his issue.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That's for the authorities.
What fishermen, I checked with them yesterday, have their license. And they have cabana bathroom, which was issued to them by Luigi next door. Thankful for him. There's another Caymanian that's helping them out. And that property government needs to give him a check, like what Steve said, in the mail of what the property value, or put it in his bank account and tell him to leave.
Okay, caller, thank you very much. We're going to try to grab up one more call before we go to our headline news at 9 o'clock. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC. Morning.
Hey, morning. How's it going?
Good, man. I'm up on the bluff up here picking my peppers and nice and cool.
Before you say anything, somebody showed me a picture of you yesterday. That is amazing. I saw a picture of you yesterday.
Oh, you mean with the trim?
Yes.
I look like a human. Yeah, well, let me plug in my little 2 pieces there about race. But I raised up better.
Oh, right opposite there,
right.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember as a boy, 8, 9 years old, spinning splat for Graham Thompson, them to get a chauffeur to go to Bush Theater.
Yes.
And cleaning goggle eyes there for Mr. Dido, Mr. Albon, and them.
Yes,
And one of the most famous fishermen that were known there was the one mayor, Mr. Guy Bird.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I do, this, what Cayman need, Mr. Steve, what Cayman need right now is 10 Ellis McKeever or 1 Fidel Castro. Yeah, I'm telling you, because the politicians, it's not costing them nothing to represent their people. They're getting paid to do it, but they fail to represent. Now, Mr. Steve, you was a lawyer, because now I going back to my subject. We talk about discrimination, right?
Yes.
Good. Now, that's discriminating too to me.
Mm-hmm.
But now, look here. When the thing went to the court about the same-sex marriage, right? Mm-hmm. That the MLA who choose to be, because they all know what was going to happen. So some just played the fiddle. But now the governor invoked Section 82 for equal rights, Bill of Rights, whatever rights it is.
Section 81.
For the gay community.
Section 81.
81. Okay. Now, it went through. The people are free to do what they want. Now, listen to me. 3 years ago, it was gazetted 3 years ago that cannabis, the extract of marijuana, could be legally prescribed, and utilized in the Cayman Islands. But, of course, it had to be through a doctor. But no, how can one person sell marijuana, because it's where it come from, and make a decent living, and another person can't grow it? They will go to jail. Now, is that indiscrimination? Gentlemen, you tell me what it is.
Well, a lot of the Eastern Caribbean countries now are having a second look at that issue, and they are saying that they are definitely going to decriminalize it to the extent which they haven't said, but they have promised that they are going to do it. So I think 3 or 4 or 5 new countries now that had jumped on the bandwagon after Barbados said that they are going to do it, and I think that is something that we should be looking at too. Of course, you have to get men though to stand because sometimes they'll tell you that they are going to stand with you, and when you look behind, they have stabbed you in the back, and so forth. So the thing is that the election is coming up in May, and then you have to decide what your issue is going to be and who you want to support in those circumstances.
Elvis, I want to thank you. We have to go to our headline news at 9:00. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after headline news.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have, on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 276 COVID-19 test results on Thursday. One came back positive. The individual is an asymptomatic traveler who returned a positive test result following routine screening. There are 936 people in isolation. U.S. President-elect Joe Biden's victory in Georgia has been confirmed by a recount as legal efforts by Donald Trump's allies to challenge his defeat were dismissed in 3 states. The Democrat beat his Republican rival in Georgia by 12,284 votes, according to an audit required by state law. Mr. Biden said Mr. Trump knew he was not going to win and had shown, quote, incredible irresponsibility by not conceding. The Democrat is set to take office in January as the 46th U.S. president. And South Australia decided to enter a statewide lockdown based on a lie told by a man with COVID-19 about his link to a pizza shop, according to police. The strict lockdown began Wednesday after the state detected 36 infections, including its first locally acquired cases since April. But this would have been avoided if the man had told the truth, that he worked shifts at a shop. He said he only went there to buy a pizza. The misinformation prompted health officials to assume the man had caught the virus during a brief exposure and that the strain must be highly contagious. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. 2 callers on hold. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Oh, say good morning.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Not too bad, and good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
Since you're on this topic, I never thought that something like this would come up, but I built my second house, sorry. My first house was Walker's Road, and my second house was in Bonneview. I bought a piece of property up there during the development of that subdivision, which was owned by Bobby Borden.
Okay.
And what happened, the 2 lots that is next to my property I still own from the 90s was awarded to the government for a park. Well, nothing has ever become of that up to this day. And I've been maintaining that property ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have any rights? I mean, since a fisherman have all of these rights to somebody else's property, do I have any rights now for the government property?
Okay.
Can anybody help me out with this?
Doc?
Well, how long have you been on the property with undisturbed?
Undisturbed.
How long have you been there?
Since the 90s. 91 or 92, somewhere around there.
Well, it has to be at least 12 years. Was it quiet possession? If you have been on the property undisturbed, quiet possession, and no one has sent you a notice to quit, to move from there, then you have the right to acquire that property by quiet possession. There's a method to do that. You under the registered land law, you can make an application to the registrar, and you can get your affidavits, and you can get your witnesses to say that they know that you have been using the land undisturbed and quietly for against the owner for 12 years, and then you would file that application with the registrar, and they will have a hearing, and if the registrar believes you and you can prove that, then you can acquire that property you can acquire title by quiet possession.
All right, I was just curious because I've heard the argument with the Georgetown there,
mm-hmm.
by the waterfront there, and I was just curious of my situation, with taking care of this property and using it for the last 1992 or something like that. It's quite a long time ago.
Was that originally designated as open public space?
That was originally designated to the government for park. And
open public space.
Yes.
For the government.
And nothing has become of it.
Okay.
And the government has not seen fit since that time to actually activate it as a public space.
Not even to put a lawnmower there. Not even the developers. Not even a lawnmower to make any kind of effort to clean or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was really carrying the value of my property down, so I had no choice but to
keep it clear.
What I did.
Well, I think you ought to do that. You ought to do that. I was involved a couple of years ago with a piece of property similar to what you were talking about up in Lookout Gardens area. And in fact, the owner of that property had abandoned it, left it, and went off to Jamaica. And the adjoining landowner put his have equipment on it, using it for personal use, and quietly enjoy it. And we got that matter settled where he was able to get title.
Okay.
So I think you need to see a lawyer and go and do it without hesitation now before they start. Before they start,
because they heard you on the air now.
Before they start blocking it off now and putting up a fence now and then say that and then come back and say you were a trespasser.
Yeah. Caller, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Have a good morning.
You too. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just had to call and say, thank you to, I'm assuming, a young lady who called about 2 or 3 callers ago. Thank you very much for your passion, because we got to try to catch the young, support them, and bring them up. Yeah. Thank you very much, young lady, for your passion. And gather a group of your friends. That's all you need to do. We need our own institutions. That means our own group. That means everything like that. So, rally round. Get a group of your friends and just keep on walking with that same idea in mind. You keep on walking toward the right direction, you'll get there. Glad to hear.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Doc?
Well, that was good to air that matter in the public. I think that this matter is a hot one. It is different from from the Smith-Barcadere matter, I think, and the Smith-Barcadere matter was strictly a place where people went for recreation and so forth. This is the place where people have used it to earn a living for more than 100 years, to earn a living. It has been used. So I remember Captain Benny Borden and all of those people bringing their equipment down there when the rice ship had gone aground. If you don't remember that, you're probably too young.
No, I don't.
When the ship went aground out there, and they had to bring in all the rice. It was loaded with rice. I can't remember where it was going, and that was the place where the rice was unloaded, and the barges would fill up, the boats would fill up to come there, and Captain Benny Borden had all his equipment there, the block and tackles and all that kind of stuff there. So that place had been used for more than 100 years. It's not just 20, more than 100 years. And I think that it ought to be resolved amicably between the indigenous people, the Caymanian people, and the person who acquired it. And I think that the person who acquired it ought to make some concessions, because I think this is not going to be peacefully. Yep. It's going to escalate. And I don't think that a person who in writing in the media, always talking about the rule of law and peace and tranquility, would want his decision to escalate to the point where there's friction between the two groups of people. I don't like friction. I think that is something for the dark ages, and I don't like war, because war, people get hurt. Yep. Or people get displaced, and I believe that this is an issue in which the government should step in and take the helm and to resolve it. And if they can find money, like I say, to do Smith back there, they could do the same thing.
But published reports indicate that the owner has refused to sell.
Then you need to invoke the doctrine of
eminent domain.
Eminent domain. That is open to any government to acquire private land for a public purpose, and that's what they should be doing. And I think that if we value peace and tranquility in our country, there's a price to pay for that. And if the price is only money, then I think we should go and pay the monetary price for it.
Because obviously, or it appears as if the financial gain is the main objective at this point in time
Exactly.
for those wishing to hold on to it.
Yes.
Okay. We have two callers. I believe we can accommodate one before we go to our break. The other one may have to hold on until after the break. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. O.C. Good morning to Dr. Steve.
Good morning, sir.
So good to hear him there, a wealth of knowledge. And yes, this is a very tough one. I have had the privilege of meeting Mr. Johnson, and I found him to be very interested in our history and stuff like that. I know, in my opinion, I wonder if he wouldn't be willing to set it. As you said, something that's been going on for donkey's years, as long as I can remember. I'm using it there, and I remember my father talking about that. My father was born 1902, and the Balboa thing and all that. They all tried to do some salvaging for them with Ethiopia. Talked about that happened some nearly 90 years ago, of course. Terrible hurricane here. I just wondered, Mr. O.C., if you had
Yes, sir. We're
done anything about what
we're going to get to it. If you were listening to the opening comments, we said that was one of the things that we're going to discuss, and Dr. McFeel and I did extensive research on it.
There with you, and to do the show, and it would be very beneficial, because I hear this talk often being bandied about by activists and so forth about this free association. I'd like to know exactly what it means. We can always talk about this and that and saying that this is what could be done, but can you show where that can be done, or how beneficial it would be, or how, if it's practical at all? But I would like to hear it, and I thank you so very much for taking this call.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ms. Susan, you want to take the break now, folks? We do have one caller. Caller, just hang in there. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we will have a discussion with you, so please stay tuned.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Miracle Brokers International, your worldwide movers and freight forwarders, continues to work hard to improve their expertise to provide you with the first-class service you have come to expect. Now, together with Consolidated Freight Line, CFL, the specialist in logistical and global cargo solutions, customers can rely on an expanded team of moving professionals that gets the job done in a timely manner. Whether it's your prized possessions, full container loads, less than container loads, ro-ro cargo, or construction equipment, from door to port services, or across the oceans, from destinations such as the U.S., Canada, Asia, the Caribbean, Central and South America, among others. Miracle Brokers and CFL combined networks offers hundreds of expert connections that take the stress out of moving and shipping services. Call today for your free estimate, 949-5989. You can also log on to www.miraclebrokers.com. Miracle Brokers is located at the end of Kingbird Road, just past CUC. Miracle Brokers, the art of packing and moving, 949-5989.
The new Self-Help Community Foundation presents the 19th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts with their first ever virtual concert. Get your tickets now at eventpro.ky. Streaming live on December 13th. You don't want to miss this. With performances by Erica Asai, Caitlin Tyson, Miss Universe 2018, Rico Rolando, Terry Williams, UCCI dancers, Lloyd Barker, Rita Estevanovich, Dream Chasers K-Man, Mariah Padua, Shantae Ramoon, Duncan Anderson, K-Man Music School, Soraya Anglin, Centerpoint Dance Company, Richie T, JC Patrick, Miss World K-Man, and more. The Talent Exposition of the Arts, first ever virtual concert, broadcasting live December 13th. Get your tickets today at eventpro.ky.
The Family Resource Center presents the second annual 3x3 Basketball Extravaganza
on Saturday, November 28th at the Arts and Recreation Center, Camana Bay.
The junior division for boys 12 and under starts at 10 a.m. and the open senior division begins at 12 noon. Each team must have a minor on court at all times.
Free registration online at frc.gov.ky or on location November 28th.
Play for a cash prize of $1,000 and test your skills in the free throw and novelty challenges. Live family entertainment all day.
3-on-3 basketball at the Art Camana Bay on Saturday, November 28th.
This is an International Men's Day event. Contact the Family Resource Center at 949-0006 for more details. Admission is free.
Radio Cayman News. Big story of the week, Tropical Storm Ada and the cleanup to follow.
We're very fortunate that it actually moved quite quickly, so it cleared out fairly swiftly.
The storm was really surprising. I didn't expect it to be as bad as it was.
Witnessed the damages, the uprooted trees, leaves and debris littered the streets.
Our neighbors actually experienced water inside their homes.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve MacPhail. We're going to the phone lines as promised. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. O.C., and good morning, Mr. Steve, the very learned, iconic legal scholar and historian, Mario Ibank here.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Mario.
Good morning.
Yes. Just two quick points. I agree with the previous callers about the dispute, alleged dispute on the waterfront with the fisherman area that the landowner is trying to evict them, or supposedly trying to evict them. And I also want to add my voice to the call for the landowner, who I know personally is a good man. He's been here from the mid-60s. So to come to the table and let's work this out without causing another big blow up in our community. I mean, even if it's a sale or a Capricorn lease or something, we surely must be able to work this out. And I'm calling, and I know there's some members and ministers in government that know the owner, Mr. Chris Johnson, quite well as well. And I would like to add my voice to say to Mr. Johnson, let's work this out without causing any strife in our community. The second point I want to raise, and this is kind of a question for Mr. MacPhail, is in relation to the call for legalizing the recreational use of marijuana, or not making it a crime for recreational use. And my question or my comment from a human resource professional's point of view in the workplace is in regard to the issue of impairment, which is a legal issue that I know that both of you gentlemen know a lot about in terms of how it's applied. But what I've been struggling with it, and I've been doing some research and talking to people and trying to get my head around it. But as more and more countries are legalizing recreational use of small quantities of marijuana, and people can have it. The issue that I find from a workplace perspective is that somebody goes to work and they're impaired because marijuana stays in the system a lot longer than alcohol, apparently. And so if somebody is impaired and there's an accident in the workplace involving that employee or employees, or if something happens as they're driving to work or operating company equipment or the like, how do we deal with the impairment issue of people if we legalize recreational use of marijuana. And to go on, unless you do this kind of thing and you make some very watertight, foolproof, specific regulations in terms of registering, as you can do now with, as I know with testing employees or knowing about employees being tested for drugs, the test for cannabis basically only shows you, whether you're positive or negative, whereas alcohol, you got different levels, you blow and you have different levels. So unless you have those kind of protocols and regimes and you have very strict regulations for the state or for the government to agree to this, I would think, and Dr. Steve can correct me if necessary, that the state takes on liability if they do this without the proper belts and braces and checks and balances. So I want to leave you with that thought, but I'm...
Well, Mr. Mario, I would like to agree with you with that. But the countries who have started the decriminalization of the use of marijuana, if you notice that they just didn't leave it to the politicians in the parliaments and in the legislatures to do so without further input. They got input from the scientists, from the doctors, from all the people, from the probation officers, from all the people who were related to the issue before decriminalization started, and some of the modern states, I'm saying not all of them, have a set of regulations in which to protect the society, because you know now that even if it's not decriminalized, people are still going to work high. And all the issues that you raise are still there and are still possible, so that the dialogue wouldn't just be them bringing a motion and going down to the parliament and passing a law to say that it's now decriminalized. It would have to be a committee set up with all of the relevant stakeholders, the doctors, the psychiatrists, and all of those people, and to come up with a situation where there would be regulations and there would be protection for the employer, for the pedestrian on the street, for the people who have to regulate machines, to see what kind of liability or what kind of lack of liability or what kind of issues that would arise legally that people could get their satisfaction if something would happen to them because of the decriminalization. It would not be just rushing down and passing bringing a members a government bill or a private member's bill and having it done for political expediency. That is not how I would envision it, and that is not how it's done in some of the places. And you are completely right. And I hope that if the time comes that they decide to do this, because it is the people who use marijuana and who use the drugs and things like that, I think we should take it from the criminal side and we put it on the health side. A lot of those people should be treated for addiction and for being ill, and say they're being sent to prison, because the prisons now has not been the answer, and it will never be the answer. And I hope that if it does happen, they could incorporate people like you into the program, so that you could make sure that reliable people studied it properly and made the right recommendations to a government who has that thought in mind.
Okay. Thank you for that. I thank you for that clarification, sir. And I agree with you. And I want to just say that this is what I want to stress as well, is that people who are advocating for this have to realize that it's not going to be a quick thing. They're going to have to take a lot of time to get it done right.
Yes, sir.
If at all, because it's a serious matter, and you have to protect the wider society as well.
Yes, sir.
But if I could just end with what I started with in terms of impairment, the issue is right now, as you know, as a lawyer yourself, very learned lawyer, is that the labor law now provides that you can terminate someone if they're under the influence of drugs.
Yes, that's right.
But if that changes and is no longer an offense under the penal code or whatever code for drug use, and that takes away the power from the labor law to do it. So you have to then get into the whole messy area of levels of impairment, which is going to be a a real nightmare. So that's what I just want to leave you with. And thank you very much for your usual, very learned engagement, Mr. McNeil. And OC, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mario, for that. Let's grab another caller before we go to a commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Yeah, they're not paying attention. Do we have another caller? No other callers. Okay, Doc.
Okay, so let's get to
let's start the topic on
Mickey.
Yes,
Mr. Mickey.
The concept of free association as it relates to the United Nations Charter and Chapter 73E specifically of the Charter.
And Resolution 54.
Yes. Okay.
So you did a lot of research on it too yourself, I guess, and I did research. But I would like to start by saying, under the outside of independence, free association, our country, Cayman Islands, could enter into free association. Now, free association is a simple form of independence. In which, and I'm reading now from excerpts from a guy called Ambassador Fred M. Zender II. Now, free association is simply a form of independence in which two sovereign nations agree to a special close relationship that involves delegations of the sovereign powers of the associated to the other state in such areas as defense and other government functions in the extent both parties to the treaty-based relationship agree to continue such arrangements. The specific features of free association and balance between autonomy and independence can vary within self-defined limits based on the negotiated terms on which both parties to the arrangements have agreed. But all such features must be consistent with the structure of the agreement as a treaty-based sovereign to sovereign relationship. In the UK experience and practice, even where free association has many features of a dependent territorial status, the sources and allegation of constitutional authority triggered by the underlying separation of sovereignty, nationality, and citizenship, causes the relationship to evolve in the direction of full independence rather than functional reintegration. Free association is essentially a transitional status for people who do not seek full integration, but rather seek to maintain close political, economic, and security relations with another nation during the period after separate sovereignty is achieved. Again, this could be accomplished by treaty between the independent nations as well. Thus, free association is a form of separate sovereignty that usually arises from the relationships between a colonial power and a people formerly in a colonial status who, at least temporarily, want close ties with the former colonial power for so long as both parties agree to the arrangements. And then it goes on to say, in the international community, it said the free association is recognized as a distinct form of separate sovereignty, even though legally it is also consistent with independence. Specifically, free association is consistent with the independence because, as explained below, the special and close bilateral relations created by a free association treaty or pact can be determined in favor of conventional independence at any time by either party. And it says, under international law and practice, including the relevant United Nations resolutions and existing association precedents, free association must be determinable at will by either party in order to establish that the relationship is consistent with separate sovereignty and the right of self-determination is preserved. This international standard also recognizes that it is also recognized and is based on the requirement that free association not be allowed to become merely a new form of international accepted colonialism.
Okay.
So a free association really is an association between states on treaty as to the form in which they are going to associate with each other, and they are equally sovereign and can be determined at any time, and it's not supposed to be something where it's another form of colonialism. And then it goes on to say, in other words, both parties have a sovereign right to terminate the relationship at any time. The Free Association Treaty may provide for the terms and measures which will apply in the event of unilateral termination, but the ability of either party to do so cannot be conditioned or encumbered in such a manner that the exercise of the right to terminate the relationship effectively is impaired and precluded. For that reason, the territory and population of each nation involved must be within the sovereignty, nationality, and citizenship of that nation, and the elements and mechanisms of the free association relationship must be defined consistent with the requirements. Separate and distinct sovereignty and nationality must be established at the time of decolonization and preserved under the relationship of the ability of either party to terminate would impair the free association if that was not so.
Okay, all right.
Say thus the major power may grant to the people of the free associated nation special rights normally associated with the major power's own citizenship, classifications, and open immigration and residence rights.
Okay.
So that's what a free association means.
Okay, Doc, I want to thank you very much for that. We have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Stronger, wider, higher, lighter. The all-new Ford Ranger Raptor.
Powerfully built with a 2.0 diesel Panther engine and 210 horsepower. Modern with leather interior, an 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 3 technology, and power features. Tough, built to handle the off-road with 4-wheel drive, terrain modes, and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Coming early October to Vamped Motors, Walkers Road. To find out more and to test drive the bold new Ford Ranger Raptor, visit Vamped Motors, Walkers Road, or call 949-8288. Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Brand Source Home Gallery is celebrating their 50th anniversary with a 20% store-wide sale starting Wednesday, November 18th through Saturday, November 21st. You heard right. Yes, 20% off everything in store. Plus, a chance to win a $3,400 GE Smart Laundry Pair. Shop and save. Celebrate Brand Source Home Gallery's 50th anniversary store-wide sale with 20% off everything in store, plus a chance to win a $3,400 GE Smart Laundry Pair. Drawing for the lucky winner of the GE Smart Laundry Pair will be held on Saturday, November 21st at 4:30 p.m. Phone 623-5000 for details. Brand Source Home Gallery, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
You're invited to enjoy a customer appreciation and seasonal celebration with Vigoro Nursery on Agricola Drive. Join Vigoro Sunday, November 22nd from noon to 3:30 p.m. for appetizers, beer, wine, and live music. Save 10% on early bird Christmas shopping with Vigoro's best selection of home accessories, truly stunning ceramics, and occasional furniture. Bring the kids. It's going to be a fantastic time with Vigoro on Agricola Drive.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orit Connor, continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have two callers on hold. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
How
morning,
are you?
ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Maxfield.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, Mr. Maxfield, can you tell me what that street that A.L. Thompson is on and Alyssa Towers? Is that Northtown Road? Called Northtown Road?
I think that is called
Compass Way.
Compass Way.
It's called Compass Way.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if it's Water Turtle who's doing some work on that road. And it's been on for some time now, and I haven't seen them there doing the work in the last, I would say like a last week and a half. And that road is detrimental to vehicles. The road is all digged up here and there. They've got the deepest hole. That road coming from A.L. Thompson down to, I would say, the red light on the left-hand side. There should not be any vehicles driving on that side of the road trying to continue into Georgetown to go to their jobs or whatever. We need to make them do a detour. I saw yesterday, Mr. Maxfield and OC, I was going out the direction trying to get to A.L. Thompson. I was on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side vehicles. I saw this car went down a hole. Where a bumper was in the hole. And I saw the hole there last week, and I saw it quick enough that I could have thrown from it. If that hole wasn't 3 to 4 feet deep, it wasn't 5 feet deep, if I know my inches. So what I'm saying is, I don't know how they can go and pick up such a main street, I would call it a highway, and leave it unfinished and not retopped back in any time. If it can't be fixed at any time right now, they should have any signs there telling you anything. Not a sign whatsoever. The road is terrible coming from roundabout to come up to the red light, which is called Compass Drive. Is it hello?
Compass Way.
Compass Way, yes. That road is terrible, and I don't know what they're going to do about it. But it needs to be fixed because we are marching up our vehicles off front end like there's no tomorrow on all roads. And Mr. O.C., this thing about spray and tip in this island here, it is a pile of crap to know the government spends so much money, I would say every year, on our roads. And we can't get decent roads to drive on, especially when you're living in what they call a private subdivision that is not gazetted and is not government road in Yakadiya. And so see, Mr. Maxfield, the government drive is seeing the roads that we drive to, so I don't know what it can be fixed under the government law. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yep.
So I just want to say that the money that we put in our roads, we should be driving on a gold road, and I mean a gold with a big capital G. The amount of money that's being spent on our roads. And it's a shame to know that we got to come out here and mash up our vehicles. And if we got to go to the garage to get them fixed, Water Authority and government is fixing our vehicles for us. And I really believe that something needs to be done. They need to change the material that they're using on the roads, period. What it's going to be, I don't know. But what they're using for all these years is not working. It is chip and spray in residential areas that not gazetted and private owners, this and that. That needs to be stopped because we are human too, and we are voters just as much as those that live on the half-decent roads here in Cayman Island.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller, for that. We can grab one more caller before we go to our next break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. and the rest of the panel here.
Hey, morning. How are you doing?
Friend of guest, Karen from the market, pertaining to what's going on here, Mr. O.C.
Yes.
I down here with these gentlemen for the past 24 to 25 years, Mr. O.C. And me is the one with cleaning that beach times and times again for all those many years, sir. I remember one of the time the seaweed come in there and it was so thick on the beach there. I got to get those two twins to pay them to cut it back in the sea. So it kind of heartrending to see what's going on now. And Mr. Johnson talking about he can't get access to his property and we're destroying his property.
And you've been maintaining it for that period of time.
I've been maintaining that property the past 24, 25 years, sir. I go and I get my tools, I get my shovel, I get my rake, I get my blower, and people admire me doing it. Especially, when I come out in the morning time, like say 6:37 before those cruise ships get in, I always rake in the beach because the tourists come and use the beach. One of the time I brought some chairs and put there that the tourists could use those chairs and stuff. Never charging no one anything, and I keep it pretty nice and clean. And everybody say, Robert, you're always doing a good job there. So, you know, always keep it clean, you know. So those are one of the things I know, you know, like I don't want to push ourselves and stuff like that, you know.
Have you spoken personally to the owner of the property?
I spoke with Mr. the son, Mr. Robert Johnson, and the last time when we go over to the terminal there, he called me one day and said that if we're not coming back, I said to him, we're coming back down there, but we're just waiting till the weather pass over. As I can see, we're in the middle of the hurricane time, I know, and every time we always clean up, the weather come back down and mess it up. So, but before that, I always clean it up nice, sir. Always clean it up nice.
So what do you think is his what is driving him now to want you all to leave the property?
Well, Mr. Horsey, I don't know what's going on behind the scene there now. I just do not know. All of a sudden, we just say that we have to leave his property. I hear there's some notice out to us that we have to go in court and stuff like that, you know, and stuff like that, you know. And I don't know if it was a plan by somebody or whatever. Cause before post-COVID-19, when they put over to the terminal there, we had the thing down here marked out just like how the supermarket is and everybody could have do them social distance and stuff like that. And all of a sudden we hear that we can come back there. We're not supposed to be there with trespassing on the land and all kind of thing and with destroying land. And that is no request. That is not true. You know, I have to say, look how much time I put into that beach, clean that beach, everybody come and enjoy it. I got returning guests all the time. Come on the cruise ship, looking forward to that piece on the market right there. Buy them fish right there, get it by the cabin and get it cooked. Back to the ship. And as I tell you, plenty of time is up, man.
Yeah. Doc, any advice you can give him in terms of recording what he has done and when and getting?
You should record. You should record what you have done in black and white, and you should try to get a witness or two to put to witness what you have done there also, and they should put that in black and white to prepare, because it's not going to just go away. The owners of that property is just not going to change their minds overnight. That would be a miracle. That would be great if they did, but knowing how the situation works there, they're not going to do that, and you need to protect yourself, and you need to arm yourself with all the information that you got, because when they go to court, you know, there's an old saying that if you have to have money to fight to win, and those who can run the lawsuit the longest will eventually succeed at the end of the day. So you are going to have to arm yourself with all of the information that you have and have it in black and white. I remember when I joined the government, and I was and they had a training officer named Gilbert McLean, and his boss, not his boss, but I think this is, probably was old Howard McCoy. He used to call him Black Phillip. And he used to say to don't come to my office and tell me what you want or ask me to remember what you said. He said, if it's not in writing, I didn't say so. And if it's not in writing, I will deny that I speak to you. So you need to put it in writing, because that is what they understand. And you need to get good grounding as far as your witnesses, your people who know that what you did there, can testify for it, and the strength of your argument. That's what you need to do.
Okay. Robert, you still there?
Okay. Yes, sir. And also, when they were doing that piece of sidewalk there, they right down to where the wheelchair to come down right to the little tree right there. They just did put like plywood there, and those plywood, the nails and the screw were coming up to rip people foot apart there. Me is the one who go and get cement and stone or whatever and fix it for a nice run out there.
Okay.
So right now, if Mr. Johnson would say his sidewalk, I would say, prend the guest on Johnson's sidewalk. And I would say, you know, I would part of the government fixing things there. So they got two palm tree, one in the middle there. Those two palm tree also they die. And I go and get cement and fix them, you know, instead of people dropping in and injure themselves. So I was taking care of this place a long period of time, sir.
Okay, well, make sure you don't...
And who's your MP?
Well, it's Mr. Joy. We met with Mr. Joy a couple of days ago, and As far as I understand, he's supposed to have been a meeting sometime with Mr. Johnson today.
Okay.
On the premiere, that's what I learned. I'm not sure what's happening there.
Well,
we're just asking the government to just look out for the Cayman interest, the Cayman interest. Because this is a piece of heritage. When the tourists come, this is a big attraction in Cayman. The fish market right here.
Yeah, I've seen that myself.
Yeah. Well, Robert, what I want to say to you, because we have to go to commercial break now, but hang in there. Make sure you document everything and don't let up, because you're going to have a lot of people behind you. We're not going to lose on this one. Because you talk about precedent. If we lose on this one, then we're going to lose on a lot more as well. So this is where we have to draw the line. We're going to draw the line at the water's edge on Dora's Bay. That is where we're going to draw the line on this one. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Ropers. Appliances, dishware, bulk foods, and so much more. With huge savings. Ropers is stocked for your hurricane supplies. Don't cut back on your needs. Cut back on your spending with Ropers. Your neighborhood store. Value. Integrity. Ropers Enterprises. 122 Industrial Way. Call 949-2511. Clean up your spending with Ropers. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
No, man. My bill seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Foam Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
The new Self-Help Community Foundation presents the 19th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts with their first ever virtual concert. Get your tickets now at eventpro.ky. Streaming live on December 13th. You don't want to miss this. With performances by Erica Asai, Caitlin Tyson, Miss Universe 2018, Rico Rolando, Terry Williams, UCCI dancers, Lloyd Barker, Rita Estevanovich, Dream Chasers Cayman, Mariah Padwa, Shantae Ramoon, Duncan Anderson, Cayman Music School, Soraya Anglin, Centerpoint Dance Company, Richie T, JC Patrick, Miss World Cayman, and more. The Talent Exposition of the Arts, first ever virtual concert, broadcasting live December 13th. Get your tickets today at eventpro.ky.
It's time to run off that extra helping of turkey dinner and give back in a big way this Thanksgiving. Register now for the 5th annual Meals on Wheels 5K and 10K Turkey Trot. Whether you run, jog, walk, or trot, come get active with us on Saturday, November 28th at the Grand Ole House, South Church Street. Registration starts at only $10 and is open to all ages. There are prizes to be won, finishers' medals, trophies, and complimentary continental breakfast to enjoy. Join event sponsors Radio Cayman, Rum Point Club Residences, Davenport Development, Stepping Stones, and McAlpine as they support Meals on Wheels in their fight to end senior hunger in the Cayman Islands. Register today. Visit mealsonwheels.ky or register at racecaribbean.net.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. 10 minutes before the close of the show or end of the show. We're going to close the phone lines off now because I want to give Dr. Macfield an opportunity to summarize and on what we've been talking about, especially the whole issue of free association. Now, we now know that the UK does not necessarily subscribe to the principles or some of the principles of Section 73E,
yes,
and the whole issue of free association. And the question is, why is it that the UK wants to hold a hard and fast line on this issue instead of trying to find some common ground with these small territories where you have some political leaders who want independence but don't necessarily have the backing of the populace, but at the same time, want to have more autonomy? Why is it that the UK is holding this hard, fast line that, you are where you are in terms of constitutional changes, and if you want something similar to Bermuda, then you have to go to independence? Why aren't they trying to seek a middle ground?
Well, Mr. For the record, I think it has to do with the UK's. It has to do with different claims and disputes that the UK had. I'd just like to read what I found here.
Sure.
And it says in 1961, and this will explain to you exactly why the United Kingdom will not. And I say they're not bound by these special resolutions also.
Okay.
In 1961, a special committee of the implementation of the Declaration of the Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and Peoples was established. The committee still meets every year to consider the future of remaining 16 colonies, including the Falkland Islands. In June 2008, Argentina attended the Decolonization Committee and obtained an addition of a new phrase to its standard resolution on 11 small territories. For years, the committee had affirmed the inalienable rights of the peoples of the territories of self-determination, and that in the process of decolonization, there is no alternative to the purpose of self-determination. Suddenly, on 11th of June 2008, without any debate, and waiving the rules that no decision should be taken on a draft resolution until it had at least that day after the written copies had been circulated, new words were added. The new text became, in the process, and I quote, in the process of decolonization and where there is no dispute over sovereignty, there is no alternative to the principles of self-determination, unquote. Because the Decolonization Committee is a subsidiary body of the General Assembly, it has no decision-making powers. Its resolutions have no legal significance unless and until they are endorsed by the Assembly. As a result, in October 2008, the British delegation proposed the deletion of the extra 8 words, those extra 8 words. Apart from the Latin Americans, Morocco, and Indonesia, the speakers all supported the British in the Assembly's 4th Committee, with Argentina in the chair. 61 countries voted to delete the reference to sovereignty disputes. 40 voted to retain it. 47 abstained, and 44 were absent. This represents the second occasion in which the Great General Assembly explicitly refused to endorse Argentina's position that self-determination does not apply to all colonial territories. So the British from that time reneged on it, because here is all the disputes. There's a dispute between Britain and Spain over Gibraltar. There's the dispute between Britain and the Chinese about Hong Kong. And there's all these other disputes. There's the dispute with
Argentina and the Maldives.
there's dispute between Belize and Honduras about the border. And there's
Belize and Guatemala. Maybe?
Yes, yeah. Morocco and Mauritania both claim Spanish Sahara, and so forth. So the British does not want to admit the resolutions because it would affect them, and it would affect not only that but their dependent territories. So it says here that the British, and then it goes on to say, notwithstanding that the emergence as a sovereignty, but what happened? I have to tell you this too. There was a resolution that passed that also said in 1970 the situation changed a little bit by the United opening up of the theoretical possibility of a so-called fourth option. Remember, there's three options: free association, integration, and independence. Now, the Declaration on the Principles of International Law reaffirmed the right of self-determination and reaffirmed the three options from Resolution 1541, but it added new wordings, and it says, and I will quote the paragraph in full: the establishment of a sovereign and independent state, the free association of integration with an independent state, or the emergence into any other political state freely determined by a people's continued modes of implementing the right of self-determination by the peoples. The idea of any other political state has never been expanded, and it is unclear that what it would mean. Presumably, it could cover the use of other existing models, such as the Isles of Man and some other, and Liechtenstein and some other places, or some variation of free association as an option for self-determination. So the British government does not want you to be associated with them in their country. They think that by calling you an overseas territories will change the situation. But this is what the United Nations has says: a British overseas territory is still a colony, and the Constitution can only be changed where the Constitution can only be changed by London. There's no premier, and the chief executive is still a British civil servant. You're still a colony. So the British government, because the resolutions are not binding, and you can see why. Because if you have a resolution to say that United States should lift their sanctions against Cuba, that is only binding as long as you can enforce it. If you cannot enforce it, it's not binding. So the British government does not ignores them. But if you pass a resolution that say that Cuba has to do something to the United States, that is binding because they can force Cuba to enforce it by sanctions against her. By keeping medicine from their people, by keeping their sanction the people to traveling from one place to the other. And so really what the British government is doing is using their sovereign power to keep us colonized, and saying where we are not sufficient enough to get full independence by saying it's that or no or nothing at all, knowing that we can't do that because it would be detrimental to our own interests.
And then they're using us by having us say, "Oh, everything is good and dandy," with us as well. And one more thing is that when you look at the Chagos Islands, the International Court of Justice, that is a United Nations body. Of course, their opinions are only advisory as well, and most advisory opinions the United Kingdom just simply ignores, and they have done so with the Chagos Islands as well.
Well, the highest court in England has said that they should return those islands back to those people and put those people back there, and they have refused to abide by the judgment of their own highest court. So you see their arrogance and how they treat us as colonial people, and therefore And like I said, to summarize the situation, the Cayman Islands people do have the right to self-determination. And at the UN level, the only means of independence, it does not only mean independence. It means that you have all these different steps that the British government is not giving you because they do not want you to exercise those rights against them. And so therefore, our parliament, our legislators are not pushing the envelope. They're just accepting what the British tell them, and they're not pushing the envelope, and they're not educating our peoples to get the support from our people so that we can have that referendum, or so when we have an election, they can have that platform that the people understand why they're voting and why what they're voting for.
Doc, I want to thank you very much. This morning, you've really helped us along, quite a bit, folks. I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brother's keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And Fidelity Bank. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. And the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure. Visit energy.gov.ky/competition to win a home energy makeover worth up to